हेलो एवरीवन, वेलकम बैक टू द चैनल। वीडियो स्टार्ट करने से पहले एक छोटी सी इन्फॉर्मेशन। यस, मैंने चैनल का नाम जो है वो अपने ही नाम पे रख दिया है। आई हैव चेंज इट फ्रॉम CMA हेल्प टू दिव्या कौशिक। सो इफ एनी कन्फ्यूजन्स देन आई एम क्लियरिंग इट दैट यस, मैंने ही नाम को चेंज किया है। चैनल सेम है, सॉरी यस, मैंने चैनल का जो नेम है वो चेंज किया है। चैनल वही सेम है, आपकी सारी वीडियोज इसी पे अपलोडेड है। मेरे जो मैंने बनाई है वही वीडियोज हैं, कोई फ्रॉड नहीं है। ओके, सो आई एम क्लियरिंग दिस थिंग इन द स्टार्टिंग ओनली। नाउ एज रिक्वेस्टेड, मैंने जो पोल डाला था ग्रुप के अंदर, एंड ऑब्वियसली कई लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट भी आई थी जो बीच में रह गया था हमारा टॉपिक, दैट इज कैपिटल स्ट्रक्चर थ्योरीज के लिए काफी बच्चों ने रिक्वेस्ट करी थी वीडियोस के लिए। सो व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू इज दैट कैपिटल स्ट्रक्चर थ्योरी का हम लोग पहले छोटा सा एक सिनॉप्सिस देखेंगे। व्हाट कैपिटल स्ट्रक्चर थ्योरी एक्चुअली मीन्स, सी, अ फर्म नीड्स फंड फॉर लॉन्ग टर्म रिक्वायरमेंट एंड वर्किंग कैपिटल। एक जो फर्म होता है, इट रिक्वायर्स द फंड फॉर इट्स लॉन्ग टर्म रिक्वायरमेंट्स एंड फॉर इट्स वर्किंग कैपिटल, right? Long term requirements means for the long a firm have long term goals in its mind, and for that purpose it require what? Funds, also for its working capital, right? These funds are raised through different sources, both short and long term. Obviously the funds are raised from various sources for the long term and for the short term, both the purposes. The long-term fund required by a firm are mobilized through owner's fund, that is equity shares, preference shares and retained earnings. Means the requirement of long-term funds is always and always completed by the owner's fund. The funds which have been provided by the owner, or which are provided in the name of the owner or by the help of the owner, that are the equity, the preference shares, the retained earnings, these all come under the long term fund requirements. Okay, and the long term debt is always taken by the debentures and the bonds. Clear? A mix of various long term source of funds employed by a firm is called capital structure. A mix means a mix of both the equity and the debt of various long term sources of funds is employed by a firm. Now this means a mix of a mixture of both long term and short term funds, debts and equity funds. All of these having a mixture of all the things is called as capital structure. Clear? According to Jestensberg, capital structure of a company refers to composition or makeup of its capitalization. What capital structure of a company it generally refers to a composition or a makeup, means makeover of the firm, or a composition of the firm of its capitalization, means how much what amount of capitalization is required, what amount of capitalization is supposed to be done in the firm, and it includes all long term capital resources. Right? Resources are always, all the long term capital resources are always included in the composition of capital structure, that is through loans, bonds, shares and reserves. Thus, capital structure is made up of debt and equity securities. Right? I told you capital structure is a combination, is a mixture, is a combination, a composition of debt and equity securities. So for that purpose, and refers to the permanent financing of the firm. These things what they do permanent financing of the firm. Now see, what further it says that the financial manager, the person who is the financial manager of a firm, of a company, of an institution, has a plan of appropriate mix of different securities. Different securities means maybe it's equity, maybe it's your debentures, maybe it's your bonds, various kinds of securities. Appropriate mix of different securities in total capitalization is in such a way, the capitalization of various securities is in such a way that it minimizes the cost of capital, means our capital cost is minimized, and the maximize the earning per share to equity shareholders, and the earning is always maximized, means earning is always maximized and it always minimize what? Our cost. Right? The financial manager always have such an appropriate mixture of such securities which provide us with both the conditions. Right? So by this I have given you a very short synopsis of what capital structure theories generally deal about it. Now see, the theory is quite important if you are going to attempt the theory part in your financial management paper, the last part which we have the 5 marks question for that purpose, and otherwise if not, the purpose is not for that, then we are going to start with the your practical part. Also if you want the theory more to be discussed, means because it has a lot of theory, So then please tell me differently in the comment section or in the Telegram channel. So we will be having a discussion in that also. I will make a video for the theory part also. But now we are supposed to do our practical part, right? See, before starting the practical part, as usual, what I am supposed to do is that capital structure theories, I am going to give you very short tips and tricks with which I feel so that your solving question would become quite easy. What I have gone through is that what we are supposed to know, the basic, what we are supposed to know is that, means, see, whenever we are going to do any practical part, now in my opinion, always make a page, a mind map of what the particular topic contains in that. Also, any number, means whichever video I have provided to you of financial management or of the company accounts, I have given you a mind map of all the things, right? So if you are not able to create it, then you can go and refer the starting part of my videos also. So you can have a mind map, because those who are preparing for both the groups, right? They are not even having complete 24 hours to revise. So a mind map would help them to have a short synopsis of what that topic actually deals with, right? So what I am going to tell you is that, see, we have generally 4 topics, 4 methods under the capital structure theories. But what are the main topics which we are going to discuss is that, means from which the question is supposed to be asked. The first is net income approach. Net income approach mein, what we are supposed to do, we are going to have value of firm. We are, the basic funda, the basic motive of this calculating all these questions under capital structure theory is that the calculation of value of firm. We are having different methods for the calculation of value of firm. What is under net income approach method, NOI, what we say is that, sorry, not NOI, so it's net income approach. The method is market value of equity and market value of debt. According to the question, you are supposed to calculate your market value of equity and market value of debt. Clear? In detail, we are going to discuss in questions, because with the help of a question, you would be having a clear concept of what I am trying to say. And the second is Modi-Miglani and Miller hypothesis. This is the Modi-Miglani-Miller approach also. Some say it as hypothesis also. Okay. The formula is EBIT. EBIT stands for earning before interest and taxes, right? Upon KO. EBIT upon KO, the cost of overall capital and all. And the third thing which I want to tell you is that optimal debt equity mix. What optimum debt equity mix is, the formula of calculating optimal debt equity mix. Where it is used, see, in some questions we are given that 70% of the security should be of the equity side and 30% should be of the debt side, right? In these cases, what we do, we use this formula, that is KO is equals to WKE plus WKD. KE for the cost of equity, KD for the cost of debt. Clear? I hope you are understanding. And WE and WD is always provided you in the question, that is 70 and 30%. For the KE, we would be having 0.7 into whatever our KE is given, right? 0.7% in the case of equity and 0.3% into whatever KD is provided to us. Okay. Keep these 3 things in mind, that is the net income approach, market value of equity plus market value of debt. The value of firm is calculated. Here the value of firm is calculated by EBIT upon KO. And here the KO is equals to WKE plus WDKD. Clear? Now one more thing. After that we would be jumping on our questions. What we have a very basic go through. Many of you would be knowing about this procedure, that how you are supposed to solve our questions. What we are going to have a basic means a basic mind map. Sometimes, you know what happen in the exam, that we know the question, we are very clear with the question, but we always say that Bhagwan main to bhool gaya, I was completely blank. What we have a thought in our mind that I was completely blank after seeing the question. Why this happened? Because we never have a complete mind map, we never have plans of how we are going to solve the question, right? So this is for most of the time this thing helps, that sometimes it happens that yes, question is completely out of the box and you are going to have tips and tricks and numbers of, but most of the time what happen is that you have a complete procedure, you have steps for solving the questions. So in that case, what we have a basic step of doing the question is that first of all we are always having our EBIT, the earning before interest and taxes. After that, what we are supposed to do, we are deduct the interest on debentures, the existing and also the additional which comes on the introduction of new debentures. After that, what we have PBT, profit before tax, right? Then we are supposed to deduct our tax and we comes out with the profit after tax. If it's given in the question, we have preference shares are given in the question, so the dividend from the preference share, existing and additional, is also deducted from that. Clear? Then the leftover is turned out to be your equity earnings. Now in equity earnings, we have two cases. Sometimes what happens, we are given with the equity shares, total number of shares. After dividing this two things, after dividing these two, we get the earning per share, right? And from the profit making ratio, what we call, we have a total or outcome. Okay, and in the different case, what we have KE, the cost of capital. From that we directly comes out the cost of equity earnings. We have two cases. Okay, first one is this one where we are given the equity shares and earning per share, and the second one is where we are given the cost of equity in the percentage form. On dividing this with this, we get the total cost of equity earnings. Clear? Copy this down if you feel like doing so, because I have given you all the perks of having a mind map in your set form, because you have n numbers of perks of having a mind map, because not only it helps you in revision but also in your exams also. Okay, now coming on to your question part. See, the question which I have selected for you is question number 10 of your study module. See what question number 10 says that assuming no tax and taxes and given the earning before interest and taxes EBIT, interest is at 10%. हमें क्या, what we are supposed to assume, we are assuming no tax and we are given that earning before interest and taxes also. Then we have said that interest is supposed to be 10% and equity capitalization rate KE is given below, that is this one. Okay, what we are supposed to do, calculate the total market value of each firm using net income approach. I told you net income approach, what we are supposed to do under net income approach, value of equity and value of debt we are supposed to calculate. Clear? Also determine the weighted average cost of capital for the firm. Okay, now see, what we are given in the question is that we are given with the firm X, Y, Z and W, and the EBIT is given to us, that is 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 5 lakh and 6 lakh. The interest is given 20,000, 60,000, 2 lakh, 240, and the KE is given to us 12%, 16%, 15% and 18%. Clear? Now how we are going to solve this? See, what we are provided with. See, as I told you, under the net income approach, the formula of calculating the value of firm is MV of equity and the MV of debt, right? Clear? So how we are going to calculate? See, the first step I told you here is supposed to be your EBIT, then your interest, then your profit before tax comes out to be PBT. Then if tax is given, then deduct the tax. If preference dividend is given, then deduct the dividend also. So the first step comes out to be your EBIT. As provided in the question, your EBIT is 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 5 lakh and 6 lakh. So what we are going to do, we have taken our EBIT, that is 2 lakh, 3 lakh, 5 lakh and 6 lakhs. Clear? The next step is interest. Now see in the question number 10, I told you illustration number 10 of your study module, page number 328 according to my book. So we are going to deduct the interest. The interest turns out to be 20,000, 60,000, 2 lakh and 240 according to the question. Okay. After deducting from EBIT our interest, what we are getting? Equity earnings. I told you, if tax is given, deduct the tax. If preference are given, deduct the dividend. Both the things are not provided to us. We are getting directly our equity earnings. 1,80,000, 240, 3 lakh and 360. Clear? यहाँ तक clear है सबको, right? cost of equity. Now see, I told you that in what happened, we have two cases after equity earnings. That is either the number of shares is given, from that we calculate earning per share, or the cost of equity is given. In this question I told you here only the cost of equity is given, right? So what we are going to do is that equity earning, cost of equity, we are provided with 12%, 16%, 15% and 18%. Now we are going to calculate the capitalized value of equity. How we are going to calculate? See, equity earning is 1,80,000. It's 1,80,000 divided by 12%, we will be getting 15 lakh. Right? Similarly, 240 divided by 16%, giving 15 lakh. 3 lakh divided by 15%, you will be getting 20 lakhs. And for the 360 divided by 18%, you would be getting 20 lakhs. This is your capitalized value. We have one half of the battle till here. That is, our market value of equity is being calculated by us till here. Right? This is your half of the battle. Now, the part 2 is your market value of debt. How you are going to calculate your market value of debt? See, we are provided with the interest of interest. We are given the question 20, 60, 2 lakh and 240. Also, we are provided the interest rate in the question. See carefully. It is 10% interest rate. So, dividing the interest by the interest rate, we will be calculating the market value of debt. That means 20,000 divided by 10%, you would be getting 2 lakh as a debenture. Similarly, 6 lakh as the market value of debt, 20 lakh as the market value of debt and 24 lakh as the market value of debt. On adding these two conditions, you would be getting the value of the firm, that is 17 lakh, 21 lakh, 40 lakh and 44 lakh. I hope it is clear to you, right? Also, it was asked in the question that we are supposed to calculate what, ma'am, what we are supposed to calculate? We are supposed to calculate the weighted average cost of capital of each firm. Weighted average, ma'am, weighted average ka formula you haven't told to us what will be the formula of weighted average, right? So weighted average formula is supposed to be, just a minute, yeah, it is supposed to be, the weighted average formula is, I have provided you here, KO is EBIT upon value of firm. The formula of WACC is EBIT upon value of firm. We are having value of firm, EBIT is 2 lakh divided by 17 lakh, we will be getting as 11.76% as our first weighted average cost. Similarly, EBIT 3 lakh divided by 21 lakh, we will be getting 14.19%. Clear? EBIT divided by value of firm would be giving you your weighted average cost of capital. Clear? I hope everyone is clear with this question. We have calculated individually the value of all the 4 firms. Very basic question. This was just for your understanding, so that you have a clear idea of how we are going to do our next questions. Okay, I hope you clear hai. Coming on to our next question, that is question number 11. Okay, see what question number 11 says. The existing capital structure of XYZ Limited is as under: equity share of 100 each, 40 lakhs, retained earnings 10 lakh, 9% preference shares 25 lakh, 7% debentures 25 lakh. Okay. Next we have the existing rate of return of the capital company's capital. The rate of return ROI is 12%, right? And the income tax is 15%. The company requires a sum of 25 lakh to finance an expansion program, for which it is considering the following alternatives. What company means that? Company want to say that we need 25 lakh extra to finance our expansion program. Okay, so we have basically 3 alternatives for that, and we are supposed to tell which alternative is the best one. Okay, the alternative 1 says that either we issue 20,000 equity shares at a premium of 25 per share. First alternative says that issue 20,000 equity shares at a premium of 25 per share. Okay. Second alternative says 10% preference shares issue kar do, or issue 8% preference shares. Clear? So it is estimated that PE, the PE ratio in the case of equity, preference and dividend is provided to us, that is 20, 17 and 16% respectively. Which of the above alternative would you consider to the best? Okay. They are provided with the 3 alternatives. We are supposed to tell which one is the best. Okay, we can do the judging very easy. Okay, see how we are going to do. See, we are provided in the question that the equity shares are provided to us is supposed to be 40 lakh. The retained earnings 10 lakh, 25 lakh and 25 lakh. A total of this would be giving you 40 lakh plus 10 lakh plus 25 lakh plus 25 lakh. Also the extension of your 25 lakh. A total we would be getting of an amount of 1 crore 25 lakh. Right? Total our capital requirement turns out to be this much. Now we are also provided that the return is supposed to be 12%. Right? So EBIT would be calculated by on our 125 lakh. That is 125 lakh divided by 12%. 1 crore 25 lakh divided by 12%. We would be getting 15 lakh as our EBIT. Right? The calculation of EBIT, many of you would be having a question in it. So it would be calculated as your 15% on your total capital. Right? Right? So on calculating on 1 crore 25 lakh, 12% of your rate of return, you would be getting your EBIT, that is 15 lakh. Iski calculation, I hope everyone is clear with it. The next step comes out to be your interest. See, we are provided in the question only that the interest is already given, the debentures are provided at 25 lakh at 7% interest. Means the calculation of debentures at 7% would already give you 1,75,000, that is fixed. Right? In the plan 1, that is equity, it is 1,75,000, that is fixed. In the plan 2 of preference shares also it is fixed. In the plan 3 of debentures, what debentures are saying? See, on 25 lakh, the earlier 25 lakh we are having 175, and we are what we are planning to introduce 25 lakh debentures more. In the case of debentures, we are at a rate of 8%. So on calculating it on 25 lakh 8%, we would be getting 2 lakh more if we are introducing more. In the case third, means if we are introducing more debentures, right? If we are introducing more debentures to finance our debt or to finance our budget expansion of 25 lakh, we would are supposed to pay interest in the case of debentures at a rate of 8%, that would be 2 lakh. Total of the interest in the case of debentures would be 3,75,000. Clear? Till here we are getting a total interest in all the 3 cases, 175, 175 and 375. I hope this is clear. On subtracting EBIT from EBIT, we are subtracting all the interest amount, and we are getting profit before tax as 13,25,000, 13,25,000 and 11,25,000. Clear? The next step comes out to be of your tax. We are provided in the question tax rate at a 50% rate of 50%. So 50% of this would be it is 66,2,500, 66,2,500 and 56,2,500. Right? So profit after tax, on deducting this amount from this, we are getting 66,2,500, 66,2,500 and 56,2,500 as our profit after tax. Now the chance comes for the case second. The issue of 10% preference shares. If we are issuing 10% preference shares of 25 lakh, see, we are already having 25 lakh preference shares at a rate of 9% as provided in the question. 9% ke rate pe we are having 25 lakh preference shares. So in this case, what interest we are going to have in the case of equity? Means the case we are going of equity shares, if we are going according to plan 1, our the dividend rate of preference shares would be 2,25,000. In the case of debentures also it would be 2,25,000, and in the case of preference shares, on the earlier debentures it would be 2,25,000, and on the new introduction of 25 lakh preference share new at a rate of 10%, we would be having 2,50,000 as our interest in the case of preference share in the plan second. Clear? The three plans are going accordingly. First we calculated debentures, now we are doing with the preference shares. Total preference dividend turns out to be 2,25,000, 475,000, 2,25,000. Clear? I hope clear hai. On deducting this from your profit after tax, you would be getting the equity earnings of 4,37,500, 1,87,500 and 3,37,500 as your equity earnings. Now see, I told you in my tips and tricks that we have two cases. Either the KE is given or the number of shares are given. Right? So in this case, ma'am, in this case what we are given? See the magic. We are already provided that we are having the 4 lakh equity shares of 100 each. That means 40,000 equity shares are already with us. And if we are planning to introduce 2 lakh, if we are planning to, no, we are not planning. They have already given the exact figure of 20,000 equity shares at a premium of 25. So if we are planning to introduce 20,000 equity shares more, so what we are going to have, total number of shares would be 60,000. Clear? So in this case what we are going to do, we have number of equity shares. If we are introducing 20,000 more, that is, this ratio comes out to be after 40,000 plus 20,000. This is only supposed to be done in the case 1 of equity, right? 60,000, number of equity shares 60,000. In other two cases 40,000, because no introduction of equity shares in the other two plans, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to divide 7 by 8, that is equity earnings, by number of equity shares to get our earning per share, right? Calculating earning per share, we would be having 7.29 as in the case 1, 4.68 in the case 2 and 8.43 in the case 3, right? PE ratio is already provided to us in the question, that is your 20, 17 and 16. So we have written it as it is 20, 17 and 16. On multiplying, what we are going to multiply? 9 with the 10. That is 9 with the 10. We would be getting our market price for each share. That is 145.80 in the case of equity, 79.73 in the case of preference share and 135.40 in the case of debentures. Clear? So obviously everyone can see that the most beneficial option is of issuing 20,000 more equity shares. So we would be going with the plan this. Clear? I hope everyone is clear with this, that how we have done both the questions with all the basic formulas only. And also those who had the request for the cost of capital case, I have already uploaded the video of cost of capital with the formulas also, and also 1 or 2 questions are also there in the video. So please have a check of that video. If you feel the need of issuing more questions, then I would be making a video for that too. Okay, so by then keep watching. Also like the video, share the video if you like, if you found it beneficial. Also this is especially made for those who requested me to make it in the English, especially for those students also. And till then, yes, keep watching, and yes, do the practice of these questions. We would be meeting in the next video with few more questions of the same topic, as it's not complete yet. Okay, till then keep watching and stay safe.